Hello, Bean. Bean, will you do the intro? Will you say welcome to the Unhinged Library?
I'm forgetting about my beverages.
Maybe that will bring you dopamine if you drink more.
Honestly,
coffee.
it probably will.
It definitely probably will bring you more dopamine.
Yeah.
What's bringing you guys dopamine today? Is it us?
Maybe.
Because welcome back.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
I'm crashing out here, but like not in the having an emotional breakdown way that the young people are using it as.
Yeah, no, she's just having like a little burnout from today because we are on episode number 2 of today's filming.
Double filming is rough, and it's not rough because it's a lot of work. It's rough because we have a hard time staying on topic, and
yeah, because we chat. Yeah, we yap, and like I don't know, this is our time to like hang out. So then we like tangent it a little bit.
Yeah,
which is always fun for editing, but we trying to keep this on track as best as possible because this is also not just a double recording day.
This is a re-record because we fucked up the first episode so bad.
I went too heavy in the notes on this one. Way too heavy because we were going like bullet point by bullet point.
Yeah.
And I really got to filter out the bullet points. I've been trying to ease back on it since this read.
Big ideas. We fill in our little details.
Tidbits and like kind of our color, as Hallie likes to say.
I am a color commentator.
Alrighty, so let's get into it today. Today's episode is finally wrapping up the Legends of Thezmarr series.
We loved this series.
Love this Kindle Unlimited series, in case you guys didn't know.
Yes.
And there is going to be a special edition of this box set coming out soon.
Gorgeous. Gonna save up for it.
I really want to order it, but I'm trying to do this year in 2025 of doing like book limitations and buying books, just because like not that I don't love to buy books, but I want to buy a house, so I can't just buy endless amount of books right now until
I'm just trying to save money.
I mean, I want to save money too, but like I want to save money for a house, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to see because I'm only seeing 2 books a month. That's technically 4 books.
Save up for 2 months.
I know. And technically, but like I mean, I could use it, like I could buy it and just not buy books that next month, but I just gotta see because there's so many books coming out and I have so many intended reads. But
you like physical copies though too. Like I will be content to just read it on my Kindle or like an audio, and then like if I really love it, I'll go buy it.
Yep.
Or if I already have the rest of the series, then I'm like, yeah, I should finish this.
I feel like if it's a 5-star series in my brain, I need it.
Yeah.
But then there's also a couple series that I've jumped the gun, which like don't kill me, but like I love Outlander, don't get me wrong, but like my husband, I had him buy that for me a while ago, and the books just aren't as good as the show is, and that's a little bit letting me down just because I watched the show first. But it's okay. I still like the series. It's just like if I could go back in time, I might choose a different series.
Fair.
But there's some books that like my house, I have a shrine of just a
That's
Sarah
how
J.
I
Maas
feel
shelf.
about the Twisted, like the Anna Hang Twisted books.
Same.
I'm not a huge, like, they were good, they're enjoyable. I am not reading Twisted Hate or Twisted Lives. I don't have any interest in continuing it. That's just my own opinion.
Truthfully, I only was going to buy it. So I read it before we read it for book club, but then I only was going to buy it because we read it for book club, so I could like write in there like the book club reads. Because originally I wanted to buy every single book we've read for book club, but I'm not always the biggest fan of our book club reads. No hate to my book club, because we love book club. It's just not always my genre or things that I like to read. So, I don't know. It's okay, though.
If I had a house and like had unlimited shelf space, that'd be different. I don't. That's not my life.
But I do really like this series, which is why I want to like physically own this series.
I want this series. I'm probably going to want Iron and Embers.
Same. I've been debating if that was going to be like one of my books this month because I wanted to pre-order it. Even though I know it's on Kindle Unlimited, I did want to pre-order it.
Yeah.
I've been debating about that the last couple days.
I feel like it's going to be weird though because I listened to the rest of the series.
Same.
And like I feel like it's going to be weird. I'm going to have to learn how to like how Torge's name is spelled.
How it's like Torj, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's on Audible. Now that I'm thinking about it, because technically I can use my Audible credit this month, but I don't know if it's gonna be on Audible.
I don't know if it's getting an audiobook right away.
I don't know. We'll have to look into it after we film because we're gonna try to stay on track today, so we don't have to triple film.
We're talking about.
We're doing good today so far. We're doing good. So yes, we're on book 4. This is Shadow and Storms, and this is the final wrap-up of Thea and Wilder's journey together. So we did just kind of like spoiler tease a little bit about Iron and Embers, and I will put the pre-order link in today's episode notes. Oh, actually no, this is a couple days after Iron and Embers is coming out, so I will still post it in there so that you guys can order that book.
I think it's already on KU.
Yeah, it should already be on KU.
But if you want people to talk to you about it, we will definitely be reading it as soon as it comes out. Or as soon as I read before it wraps up. And
yeah, we do have one read to... I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read that one just to kind of get it done and over with, and the internet doesn't ruin things for me. And then I will read Iron and Embers.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. We'll see if I'm going to
I loved the narrators in this.
Yes.
I do have to say, like, for this series, I have a hard time with audiobooks sometimes because I don't like the narrators. I loved the narrators in this.
No weird accents, and, like...
Very
I like
good.
Wilder. Like, he was a good narrator. Thea, she wasn't, like, a whiny person to read.
I loved that. Loved that.
Hallie does not like a whiny
I
FMC.
don't. And, like, I know I sound probably horrible on audio, just because my, like, vocal pitch. But, yeah.
But you're not here to judge our vocal pitches or our opinions. You're just here to listen
I'm a
to
little
them,
gravelly
right?
right now. Like, I'm picking up that I'm a little gravelly right now. I don't know why.
Maybe it's a season, though.
Yeah, I could be getting sick.
Hopefully not. I just got unsick, but I still, like, I don't know, always sound a little congested, I feel like, in this time of year.
Yeah.
So, our tropes for this book today, we're going to say touch him and die.
It's both. It goes both ways.
We open up with touch him and die, and then it eventually becomes, like, touch her and die, which we love that.
Yeah.
Found family, that is a very prevalent theme throughout this whole series. I would say, just of, like, finding out, like, it's not always blood that makes you related to people.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing.
Yep. Dual point of view. We are spoiled nowadays with these dual point of views.
We love a dual point of view.
I kind of hate when I don't get dual point of views.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'm like, just one chapter? One little morsel for me, please? And, like, secrets. We find out, like, a lot of secrets, kind of uncovering into this book a little bit more.
Yeah. You get a lot more backstories on different characters and different things.
And, of course, like, war and, like, battle, because this is the last wrap-up.
Battle strategy. So if you want, like, the big epic, like, J.R.R. Tolkien Lord of the Rings battle, you would be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is a lot of battle strategy and, like, getting to the battle.
But overall, our ratings were pretty decent for this book. So I gave this book a 4.5 stars.
Yeah. I gave it 4 stars.
Which, again, like, really enjoyed it. I don't think every book has to be a 5-star book for it to be a 5-star series.
Yes.
And again, I think this is a 5-star series. This is a really fun series to kind of get into, follow along. I think you could, like, we did the audiobooks, and no, I didn't physically or Kindle read this at all. No. Again, it is on Kindle, but, like, I did all the audiobooks, but I think I did this whole series within, like, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If that. Like,
oh, yeah, easily.
Easy. Like, it was fun. Like, I kept being engaged. It was a nice, like, escape. I really enjoyed it. I don't think there wasn't any trigger warnings in this series. So it's, like, a pretty clean series for that. Like, there's not too much, like, trauma.
Maybe a little torture with Wilder in this one, but
yeah, but it's nothing too heavy.
It's not Sarah J. Maas.
Yeah. Or, like, I don't think it's something... And, like, the spice in this book definitely tims it down. Like, I think book 2 was the height of, like, the spice in this series.
Yeah.
And it slowly became more of, like, a balance between the plot and the spice.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like that more of, like, actually having that balance more with the series. So that was enjoyable. So our basic synopsis of this book, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I mean, if I do it, I'm going off vibes.
I was like, I can go off, like, my review vibes. That's kind of what, like, my synopsis is.
It starts out Wilder's in a predicament.
Yeah, he's, like, a prisoner.
Yeah.
She's escaped from her war sword.
She passed her war sword.
Yep,
she
she's
is
officially...
a war sword.
And she's looking for Hawthorne. Because remember, like, he gives himself up to the guards at the end of book 3
to save her.
Yeah, to save her. And like, again, touch him and die. She is coming for her man.
And she's hooked up with somebody.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
Talamir.
Which there's a novella about him.
It's a whole novel. It's not a novella. It's a whole book.
Yeah, Slaying the Shadow Prince.
Yes.
Highly recommend putting that on your TBR with the series.
It was great. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Audiobook of it. Yep. The audio, Helen, I can't say your last name properly, but Helen, you pick good audio vocalists.
Yeah, you really do. Your audiobooks rock.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, your writing is great, and like your choice of that is like amazing.
Yes.
Love that.
Because I have had favorite books ruined by audiobook readers.
And like she again still loves those books, she just hates the audio versions of it. Me, I don't know. Like Shatter Me is like a book series that is like one of my favorites of all time. But that is an annoying audio reader, not gonna lie. Like, she has an annoying tone of voice.
As dumb as it is to admit this, so I read the first few Shatter Me books. I didn't realize they were written in a poem format. I really didn't. That went over my head.
Yeah. I read them physically at first, and then I eventually got audiobooks of them.
Yeah.
And they're just like a comfort read now. I listen to them when I like fall asleep at night.
Yeah.
Love them. So Thea buddies up with Talamir, and they go to break Wilder out of being captive. And after they break him out, the general synopsis is pretty much like Thea is getting closer to her fate stone date. Because remember, like, she's gonna die at age 27, and she is just wasting more and more time being apart from Wilder, and they just want to be together and love each other as that. But they're also trying to build an army to make sure, like, the race have balance into the world, because it's not like they're all evil, and they're trying to get that message kind of across. And there's something sussy going on into the kingdom, and they're trying to figure out what's the whole deal. They're still not sure, but they believe the king is up to something, and he needs to be stopped.
Yes.
I'd say like that's the general vibe of this book. It was like very brief and overview. In this book too, you're gonna get a little bit more of a connection between the sisters, because we do see Anya. Sorry, Anya. So we see like those 3 sisters kind of come together a little bit more into this book. We get to see Wilder and Talamir come back together after being apart because they haven't seen each other since the big fallout. And we see a found family for Wilder as well in this book, which I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Because it's always kind of been about Thea's found family, and like Kip and Cal and the girls of like the Dancing Alchemist, like it was always about her. And I think we get to see a little bit more vulnerability for Wilder this time.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I'd say, I don't know, anything else that I didn't cover in this brief one?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay, so from here on forward, y'all, you know the deal. Spoilers! So again, opening up, Thea is going to get Wilder, who is captive in the tower that no one wants to be at. Because if you remember in book 1, remember that guy that tried to like poison the prince or poison the king, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to die or do you want to go to the tower?" And he's like, "Kill me."
The Scarlet Tower.
Yeah, the Scarlet Tower. And he's like, "No, don't send me there." And they're like, "You're going there." Well, guess what? So is Wilder, and he meets him there too.
Yeah.
Another spoiler there.
He gets very traumatized in this tower.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for him to decipher like what's truly happening and what's more of a manipulation for himself.
A lot of psychological torture happening.
Yeah, which again, it's very similar of like very like different books that we've read.
Hunt.
Like it gives me
the
that
first time Hunt's in the dungeons when they're playing the slideshow for him. Sandriel's still there.
And then it gives me a little bit of like in the Hunger Games, I think it's in book 1, there's like the tracker jackers that sting you and you can't tell if you're hallucinating or if it's real. It's giving me a little bit of that vibes too. Of like he can't really decipher like is he actually like killing all these things that are attacking him, or is it just the guards kind of messing around with him?
Yeah.
But do you think our queen could let her man be tortured that long?
No. She even breaks the promise she made to him, because he made her promise that as soon as she got it, as soon as she became a war sword, she would go get her horse.
Because they can smell the war sword challenge, whatever, on you. The horses can.
And she doesn't do that.
She's like, not today.
She's like, I gotta go get my mans.
she don't go get that horse for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
A long, long time.
But she gets her man, and along the way, Talamir kind of finds her and comes across her, and he's like, I would never let him be there alone. Like, I'm coming with you to get him.
Yeah.
And, like, I love him.
Yes.
That's King. Come on in.
Yup.
So, yeah, he's in there. He's getting tortured. It is a big kind of epic battle to get him out, but they do get him out.
Yes.
And then they have a reunion, and you can kind of already see in the first reunion that there is no grudge being held on Talamir's end to Wilder. Like, he's just happy he's okay. He's happy to see him again. And it's not what I think Wilder expected, which he was very fearful of Talamir, like, being mad at him still.
Yeah.
So they go back to the Dancing Badger for a couple drinks, and Wilder notices there's a scar on Thea's hand that wasn't there before, and it's the scar that came from the right, because remember she, like, her hand off during it, so he kind of asks about it, but she doesn't want to talk about it, and she doesn't want to talk about this to anyone throughout the whole book. She eventually does open up to Wilder about this later on in the book about what happened, but she kind of keeps it very secretive just because it's hard for her and trying to block that out.
Yeah. And, like, the one thing Wilder, like, that was really fucking him up about what he's seen in the tower, that he does kind of confide in Thea. They were turning prisoners into wraiths and demon monsters and things. Like, for him, it was that, like, his government does truly know, like, they're people. They were real people that got turned into these things. That they've been demonized since, like, forever. So, he does tell Thea what he saw, and, like, they had, like, a little bit of, like, emotional reaction.
Bonding, kind of, for it.
So...
Because remember, they wanted to change him into, like, the powerhouse of all of that.
Yes.
So they end up going back to camp.
To Talamir's camp.
And we see Anya, we see Ren, we see our guys Kip and Cal, and everyone's kumbayaing for a little bit. It's not too bad. At first, like, things aren't too hectic. And everyone's kind of happy that Thea has made it through her war sword trials. And we do find out about a new thing, kind of, that we never knew about. Find out about sun orchids.
Mm-hmm.
And sun orchids are a natural adversary to shadow touch. So it's, like, almost as prominent as, like, the steel that they get for their war swords, the Narvarian steel.
Which, like, I think it is cool you found out that, like, one of the, like, biggest Narvarian, like, blacksmiths is Drew's dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he is there. He's at the camp. So, like, it's kind of, I like that touch.
We see the crow. I can't think of his name either.
Mm-hmm.
But you remember seeing him probably from, like, book 2, 3. You've seen him in, like, a couple of the earlier books. Like, you get to see him with Drew. So, like, that was kind of, like, cool.
Yeah.
A little Drew moment. Love her. But Wilder's definitely going through some PTSD throughout this book.
Yes.
It's not too prevalent on the page. Like, you do get some of that experiences, but it's not too heavy to read about, I would say. But you do experience his trouble with kind of seeing what happened in there again, deciphering what really happened to him and what didn't happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, not getting turned and making it out okay.
Yeah. And, like, we do get a nice brother moment between Malik and Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at this point, Wilder's, like, trying to, like, calm himself out. He goes and finds, what's the name?
The horse? Oh, I don't remember the name of the horse.
Isn't it Biscuit?
Yeah, his is Biscuit, yeah.
Yeah. So he goes and finds Biscuit, and he's, like, taking care of him and, like, you know, cleaning him up, brushing him and stuff. And Malik comes out and just starts, like, braiding his mane and, like, literally just being there for his brother. Because Malik is still a silent, gentle giant. He does not speak.
No.
Still does not speak this entire book. Don't think we're ever going to get Wilder to speak.
No.
Or not Wilder, Malik.
Malik. But Talamir also comes in here, too.
Yes. And, like, Wilder and him definitely have, like, more of a heart-to-heart. They already had a little one about, like, Wilder regretting all the years they didn't get to hang out and, like, be together. And, like, we're still kind of led to believe it was about him not supporting the marriage to Drew, which it's not at all. You
It's
find
not.
You find out the real reason in Talamir's book. It's not explained in this book
at all.
We're all led to believe it's just because he married Drew. It is not at all that he married Drew.
Big spoiler alert. It's really because, like, he hid being a wraith for the longest time and not actually sharing that with Wilder.
And then, like, kind of wanted to sideline Wilder about, like, making it right in their society. And Wilder couldn't deal with, like... Because at that point, Talamir was going through some shit, and, like, it was looking like he was about to abandon the Resistance and Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And Wilder's like, hey, you're not the guy I thought you were if you're going to abandon that woman who loves you and, like, the right thing to do. So, like, I'm gonna get away from you now.
Yep.
I don't like that.
And again, so, valid reason, but
Yes.
a lot. So, again, this heart-to-heart, Talamir kind of comes in, talks to Wilder with, like, on behalf of him and Malik, like, it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You can't hold that grudge against yourself. Like, we love you and we don't blame you at all. Yeah. Which is, like, a very healing moment that Wilder needed to have. I think he cries during it, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Because, like, he blames, like, that battle that, like, he kind of left after was also the one, like, Talamir got changed and Malik got hurt. Like, bad hurt. Which is why he's silent.
Mm-hmm.
He essentially died and they basically brought him back.
Yeah. Sad for him.
I want more Malik.
I want more Malik, but, like, also so sad because, like, I don't know, prioritizing their wants in a sense, because, like, do you think he really wants to live that way? Of, like, being mute and not being able to, like, do a lot of what he did before.
But
I mean, he's still probably grateful.
Why he's mute. He just stopped talking.
Well, they said he picked him up by his neck and, like, crushed him that way.
But then he got the water. So, like, that's supposed to heal everything. So, like, we don't know if he physically cannot talk or if he's just choosing not to talk.
I hope he talks to Audra. That's what I think he does. Because that's the librarian or whatever. When they have their, like, little silent moments.
He just likes fucking with everybody. And he's just like, I'm just going to be silent and see what people tell me. Because, like, I think he's smart enough to know, like, if people think you're just a sounding board, they're obviously going to be, like, more open and tell you more because you're not going to, like, talk back at them.
Yeah.
So he's just probably, like, gathering everybody's secret and all the tea up. He's like Rowan. He's just going to be like, just give me all of the
Rowan
tea.
Loves to spill the tea, though. He don't care.
Well, Rowan's got a mouth. That's the problem.
Rowan is my Rowan Empire. That is my number one book daddy.
But yeah, so then after this moment, we meet Talamir's son, his little boy, and his wife, Drew. We love them.
Love them. And it turns out, too, that he, like, the son knows about Wilder and knows who Wilder is. Like, even when they first kind of meet and interact, like, he's not afraid of coming up to him.
He calls
him
his uncle.
Yeah, his uncle. So, like, it's very welcoming in that sense.
Yeah, like, Talamir and Drew never hid Wilder.
Settle down out there. Settle down.
They never hid Wilder from their kid. Like, to them, it really was just a blip. It was like, he'll come around, like, we'll see him again. He is still our friend. He just, like, needs time to process some shit.
Yeah, and I think that was important, too, for Wilder to kind of hear that. Like, he wasn't cut out of their lives. Like, they still loved and cared about him a lot.
Yeah. Like, it never ended.
Mm-hmm.
It was not really an ending. It was just more like, okay, you need to, like, chill. Take a time out, buddy. Here, go. Sometimes Bean needs a time out.
Thea's not chilling, though.
No, Thea is writing a novel.
She is writing a novel that she's hiding from Wilder, which
not well,
but I mean, I feel like this is very common of people who know that they have, like, a chronic illness or that something's gonna happen. They want to leave. She still
has the fate stones. She still thinks she's dying by what, 26 or 27?
I think it's 27, but I totally could be wrong.
I'd be dead.
I would be too.
That's weird to think about.
That's crazy. So she's writing in this book of things that she can't really voice and say to him. And again, I totally get it. Poor girl. She's going through it.
Yeah.
So we do have a nice family dinner.
Yes. That Ren is late to Miss Ma'am.
And she, like, bustles in the door. And she's like, where's the boys? Who are you talking about, Ren?
Cal and Kip, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Not their master, not their trainer, not
George.
Like,
when someone says it too, she, like, whips her head towards them. I think it was Thea who said it. Like, what do you mean? Don't ask about him.
Not the Bear Slayer. Why would we care about the Bear Slayer?
If you want to know, my notes say, quotes, capital letters, need their books.
We are getting it. We are getting it. So, Audra and Malik are, like, huddled up together talking. Or, Audra's talking and Malik is there.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe they'll talk one day, maybe not.
I feel like maybe Malik writes to her.
Maybe. That'd be cute.
Because we don't know if he writes to anybody.
He's got to do something, or, like, sign or
No,
something.
he literally just looks at people.
He's just give my vibes.
Yeah. It's like he's got very expressive eyebrows, I feel.
You're like, I want pizza rolls. Bring me pizza.
I want to know who does his eyebrows, because he probably has very expressive eyebrows.
Very nice eyebrows.
So, like, the other thing that we kind of glanced over, we really shouldn't. Audra is extremely supportive of Thea being a war sword, obviously, because, like, she knew the women warriors. But on top of that, Thea is still a Stormbearer. And we were all kind of told, like, you can't be both.
Literally, she told her that.
Yeah. But she's, like, all in on it. So it's like,
I don't trust Audra. Personally.
woman, how do you...
Even at the end of this book, I don't trust her just because of how fickle she is.
I don't think she's going to be a villain. I think she withholds a lot of information from everybody.
I mean, I think, like, she'll definitely have a better light painted on her in this next series because I think she likes Ren more than Thea, but...
No, I think she likes Thea more than Ren. I think she gets annoyed with Thea because Thea had so much more potential, but she was only focused on the, like, physical act of becoming a war sword and not on the magical side with the alchemy and stuff. Because, like, think about if she actually was good at alchemy, how different all of the battles and everything would have been.
And had actual interest in it versus just being like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. Like, it's great because it brings Ren into it more, but, like, Thea would have been a powerhouse if, like, even more if she would have actually paid attention to her studies.
And Ren not kind of, like, dampening her powers without her knowing.
Yeah.
So we're reunited with Kip and Cal.
Yes, we love them.
And the weapons master is missing from the, like, training village, whatever, that they used to live in, that I don't remember the name of, but I know
From
the vibes.
Yeah.
From
So
the vibes.
he was, like, the head trainer guy from, like, the first book. He was kind of a dick.
Yeah, he's Sebastus's, like, uncle or whatever.
Fucking Barlow's.
Ugh. And the Princess Jazz is missing. The one that's the king's daughter that we met in the beginning of, like, book 1, and she's like, oh yeah, there's empath magic going on in there.
Who's also, like, a little sus.
Yeah, she's sus. Everyone's fangirling over Talamir because why not?
Rollins' drawing that made me genuinely happy.
Yeah, so how he, like, drew Uncle Wilder. And, like,
Except it's a children's drawing, so the swords may not have looked like swords.
probably not.
Well, there was a whole conversation about what they thought they were.
It can't be as bad as Cal's bad tattoo.
They thought the child drew their dicks.
He has a fox on his butt because his friend
Laughing fox.
convinced the tattoo artist to put that on there.
Kip was
versus
also
the
very
bear.
upset they went to a tavern without him.
Yes, very, but it's Kip. Poor Kip. Kip, do you need a sober January?
You need a dry January, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
It may be a problem. You're still young enough that it's, like, not a problem, but get that under wraps.
We also do finally, like, figure out where that what that necklace was all about. It really wasn't like Wilder's ex-lover. It was really from Talamir, and that came from Talamir's mother. And it was pretty much to give to someone that you love, but they need to let you go at the same time.
Yeah. It's kind of like you go do what you need to do. I will always love you.
Mm-hmm. So then they're having, like, a war meeting. Things are kind of, like, starting to come a little bit more planning, and Ryland goes missing.
Yeah. And, like, that was big panic.
Big panic. Because, again, like, he is a good bargaining tool. He is the kid, like, the only kid of, like, the leaders. And, again, don't forget, like, Talamir is known very, very prevalently. Like, he's a shadow prince. Like, a lot of people know about Talamir, so they're instantly worried about him. Turns out he is okay. He was out in the fields with Gus.
Mm-hmm. They were playing, and then, like, the attack happened, and, like, Gus was smart enough to be like, we're gonna hunker down. We're not gonna go anywhere near that. Because on top of, like, obviously them being freaked out for Rylan, they're trying to protect the Sun Orchids. Because, like, they have to. That is the only, like, weapon of defense they have against, like, the bad race.
Yeah, the bad race of, like, the ones that aren't, like... Because remember, like, people still. Because, like, the shadow race are, like, half human, half wraith.
Yeah, the half wraiths are more human than, like, the full-on. And the full-on ones are controlled by somebody in the government.
Mm-hmm. But we don't know who yet.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts about this was Cal shooting a perfect shot and Talamir, like, commending him, and he was like, my idol!
Yeah. We love that Cal is good at archery.
Well, I love Cal. Like, God, I want Cal to find love. I wanted him to find love with Ren at first, because I remember, like, Cal and Thea, he wanted, like, he asked Thea the one time to, like, make out or something like that.
That would still be weird,
I
because it's
know.
like, why, are you going with her sister?
I know, but then, so then I was like, well, maybe I really like Ren, so maybe that will work out, and then I had Ren in Torch vibes, and I was like, it's like,
I just don't want Cal getting hurt by all this.
Oh, in your little bubbly water. Today's beveraginos are lime, sparkly, bubbly, spicy water. We end up having Wilder finds Gus and Rylan, brings them back to safety. All is well in the camp. Sun Orchids aren't really hurt, so those are kind of doing okay too. Also, Drew, Queen.
Yes.
She is a warrior. We love a warrior girl. That's again why we really liked her book too. I think
and
I
she
gave that.
is a warrior first and foremost. Like, yes, she loves her son. She is a good mama. But she literally tells Talamir, like, hey, we're not sheltering him from this.
Yeah.
He's gonna know the world he lives in. And, like, yes, that can be rough to put on a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he also knows, like, yo, my parents are, like, some of the most badass warriors in the land.
Because Talamir wants them to run and to, like, go somewhere safe. And
he
she's
wants
like,
Drew to
no.
go with him. It's not just that he wants Rylan gone. Because, like, he could send Gus away with Rylan.
Yeah.
Or somebody to take care of Rylan. He wants Drew to leave, too. Because he does not want to have to worry about either one of them. Which, noble. It's okay.
Yep.
It's a very man logic.
Mm-hmm.
But Drew ain't gonna fucking let that happen.
Not today.
Not ever.
So, Audra is trying to look into something for Thea. Because, again, remember, Thea's Fate Stone's coming up. She's worrying about dying. And she wants to somehow, like, give her magic away before she dies and somehow transfers that
To her sisters.
To her sisters. She doesn't know how to do it. That's why she has Audra trying to look for it. And Audra is not doing well on her research. She can't really find a way to properly transfer the magic. Or so we're told.
Or is she even doing the research?
Yeah, again, I don't really like Audra. I don't know, I just don't trust her.
Audra is unreliable. In a lot of ways. Like, she comes through.
Mm-hmm.
But she's unreliable. She likes playing her cards very close to her chest.
Yes. And for what's convenient for her only.
Yes.
So, there's a couple vials that you get when you become a war sword. And we're starting to, like, get a little bit more details
This
about
is what
these.
we argued about.
Yeah, on the last episode of this. So, you get a couple vials when you become a war sword. And we're trying to figure out more a little bit, like, what is in these vials? What is the purpose of these? And why is it only that we're bestowing them upon war swords? And Thea and them are trying to also think, like, how can I use this vial to my gain?
Mm-hmm.
Because we want to try to use it so we can help ourselves win, and whatever's going on in the kingdom, yeah, no. Straight up, not a good time. So one of the vials is empath magic that we figure out. And another one of the vials was healing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the two vials is, like, what we're kind of figuring out of that.
And they thought the empath magic was poison.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't realize it was just empath magic.
But I don't believe Thea's gotten the vials quite yet. Because you get those from the kingdom. So her and her
She hasn't gotten any of them, no.
No, because she's only, like, completed the war sword trial.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to go see the queen, whose, like, husband was killed or whatever not that long ago, and try to get the vials. And also get some information, because, again, they need information more about their battle to, like, plot and scheme. Scheme and maneuver. And Wilder finds Thea's death book in this meantime.
Kip saved the weapons master.
Yeah, go Kip.
Okay. We have to throw in Kip's accomplishments. He doesn't get enough love.
No, they don't. So Wilder finds it. He's rightfully upset, understandably, but they are finally fully intimate with each other after both of them putting down these barriers and kind of being more honest and open, which is what needed to happen for the two of them.
And, like, the reason that Wilder is upset is because, like, we weren't even fully privy as to what she was writing in this book, and this book was basically her wishes for him and everything after death. It was her goodbye. Think of, like, a suicide note times 20, because it's a whole book. And, like, it's not it is not that she's just dying or thinks she's dying.
Mm-hmm.
So she's covering her bases.
And she's thinking about, like, all the life that they could have had, and that's just making her spiral down that deep, dark hole.
And, like, she's telling him, like, about it. Like, what she thought their time would be like together.
So one of my favorite quotes from this book, I believe this was Ren who said this. A true man won't cut you down as you fight your battles. A true man helps sharpen your sword and guards your back and fights at your side.
Yes, because the sisters, like, they're going off to Avon together, which is the kingdom they have to go to see the queen who just lost her husband. And again, it was pointed out, like, why don't they have any princes ever in any of these kingdoms?
I don't know. It's sussy. That to me, I thought was going to be a bigger plot. But I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, but, like, so they're going to go see this queen, but on the way there, it's just the three of them. They're not traveling with anybody else, because he has a war sword. Anya's a
talking about
badass.
who she hooked up with.
With,
Drados.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I wish I didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I did it.
There was a lot between the two of them that
And
we are never going to be privy to.
Ren is the dry little bone in this
Yeah,
situation.
Ren is like, I don't like anybody, don't ask me my crush.
She's like, don't talk about it, but yeah, girls, do your thing. So they do get to the palace. They have a little bit of a hard time getting in because they're kind of like on the outskirts. The kingdom's not really accepting them, but they do eventually get in. Wilder is back.
Because Thea's a traitor at this point too.
Yeah, they don't trust her.
No.
But they want to see her enough because she's
valuable.
Yeah, she's valuable. She's kind of like a train wreck. Like, you want to get close to watch it, but like you also don't want to get like too personal to it.
Yeah.
Torge and Wilder have a moment about love and desires, and Torge doesn't necessarily say in all sense of words like, I want Ren Embervale, but his eyebrows say it.
It was mostly like he was asking, like, how do you know when you like somebody?
And, like, how do you know it's, like, really love? And, like, how did you know, like, Thea was the one?
Yeah.
Because he really feels like Ren is the one. And she is.
I also love, like, how their friendship, like, actually progressed. Because, like, the beginning of the book, Torge is like, hey, asshole, I'm friends with the two of them, too, with Malik and
I've been here the whole time
Talamir.
for you, for them.
Like, I know you think you're this lone wolf, but bro, I have had your back. I'm your bear buddy, just following you around the forest. What the fuck? Acknowledge me.
So sad for him. So sad. Of course, the queen has to be petty because we love a petty queen.
Yeah.
And she holds out for a couple days before seeing the girls, understandably
3
so.
whole days.
Because again, like, Thea ain't the best person in the queen's eyes. But we do see them argue with the queen, probably not helping themselves.
Yeah.
But Thea gets one of the vials. I don't think she got 2.
No, she only got her vial.
Yeah, I was gonna say she only gets the 1 vial from her. And also too, the queen says something about only having like the silver-haired one lead her army, and that's who she wants to lead her people.
Gold turning to silver, and then demands Torge lead her army.
Demands, like, only he can lead her army, because that was like kind of what they also went there for too. Is like they need more forces. They also need answers, but they need forces, and they want the queen's help, and they're trying to channel her emotions from like losing her husband, which is a little shady.
Well, they kind of guilt her too because they know her mom was friends with the queen. Like, their mother was friends with her, and they have letters that were exchanged between their mother and her. And like, she talks about her sons. We know that there's princes.
Mm-hmm.
They're just gone
in another realm or something. I don't know.
Maybe they were killed.
Maybe
because they were killing all the extra heirs because like they were afraid something. But it was a female heir specifically that was going to turn evil.
Yeah, I don't know. I must have liked this part. Some people are talking shit about Thea, so Wilder goes and chokeslams them.
Yep.
I like that.
We do.
I like that in a man. Vernick is back.
Fuck you, Vernon.
Barlow's back.
Fuck you. fucking again the trauma I am having towards the name Barlow at this point.
But my favorite is like when he sees Theo for the first time and he looks at her chest and he's like, "What's that? You're a war sword? No way."
Creepy that he was like staring at her chest.
Yeah, don't look. My milkshake does not bring all your boys to the yard.
We hate Barlows.
Um,
We hate Barlows.
So they get there, there's some training going on. They really don't want to adopt Sebastus in, but they kind of have to. And like Vernick doesn't seem like really happy about it and wants his distance from Sebastus, but he brings him along. So there's a battle about to happen, and something just kind of feels weird. Like Thea can't like pinpoint her finger on it, but something just like feels off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, little Ren, because of how Thea kind of was like emotionally gaslighting
Shits on her constantly.
Talking about like how alchemy isn't deserving, like it kind of has messed with Ren and her vision of herself, which I think we're going to see that a little bit more in
her
books, and I'm excited for that. I think she's having 4 books in her series. So she's kind of feeling weird about wearing the armor, but they're telling her like you're deserving of it just as much as Anya, just as much as Thea and Kip and Cal. Like
Anya was really the one to step in on that and be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I know like Thea was kind of shitty to you about this, but like I am your oldest sister and I'm telling you, wear the armor, you deserve it.
Which I'm gonna skip a little smidge and then we're gonna come back to it. But like Ren comes out in her armor and Torge is like, oh my.
Torge is gagging, but like in a good way.
He's drooling. But before she walks out, this like really icky part kind of comes up, but like it's totally well deserving. Like Thea wants to go to the bathroom, and this man tries to attack her in the woods. That sounds like a vacuum.
vacuuming.
That sounds like a vacuum. Ignore the white noise.
I have neighbors.
We have neighbors.
I'm cleaning
We're
up
not in a
everything. This is
studio.
nice.
We have like.
This
not-
isn't even a studio apartment. I
Yeah.
have a bedroom.
I mean, technically, we can pretend it's Bean's studio apartment. She's like looking.
No, Bean sleeps in the bedroom when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll go sleep in the big bed.
Nice. Good job, Beanie.
Mm-hmm.
So Thea tries to go to the bathroom, and Sebastus is there waiting for her in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
like the little douchebag he is. And not only is he pissed, he tries to R-word her.
He literally tells her,
He's going
like,
to.
I'm going to rape you, and everybody else is going to see that you have no worth because I raped you. And it's like, that's not how that works, bro.
And he's like trying to like take his belt off and everything, and she has finally had enough. She is done letting this scum live and breathe the same air as her. So she murks him.
Yeah,
Rightfully so.
rightfully so.
And then Malik's dog comes along and like helps finish it up.
I love him. I love him.
Love him. Love him. Love Dax. Thanks, Dax,
Yeah.
for coming in hot.
Dax just loves fucking people up. He wanted to fuck up Barlow for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And then also too, we kind of like finally figure out too that Vernick didn't really want to bring Sebastus with him. He was kind of forced into it because he owes the weapons master a favor,
And
that was the
Barlow
favor.
is the weapons master nephew.
So he had to do it.
Yeah.
Also, remember how like Wilder didn't get the right like leathers from his War Sword challenge because they didn't make those leathers anymore? Well, his girlfriend had new leathers made for him and they fit perfectly.
His girlfriend.
I mean, that's really what Thea
I
is.
know. It's nice that this book didn't really do mates.
No, like nothing like Mace. Even like girlfriend, like they don't really title it, but like
They're not fae.
no.
Like, the only like magical creatures in this are the half wraiths
Yeah, the race, the
and
half
the
race.
monsters.
So like nothing like too crazy.
Yeah, it's nice though. It's
But
refreshing.
the war swords are like immortal.
Yeah, no, they're not immortal. They're just extremely hard to kill. Because remember, they were not granted immortality
Yeah, but like to me, I don't know. They're living for like
forever.
forever in my mind. I could be wrong, but in my mind, they're living for a really long time.
Yeah.
So the battle is upon us, and it is intense. They're looking for King Atos, but they can't find him. And Stormfire.
Also, Atos. I'm getting a little PTSD on that name.
Yeah. Yeah. So the battle is upon us,
Oh,
and it's intense. We can't find King Atos because he's a little zissy, and he is hiding. And Ren uses her storm magic because she's a queen.
Yep.
But here's the best part. this spider is like about to attack Torge and like come for him, and Ren's like,
Ren uses her storm magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she attacks. Also, so like when we met the queen, we really didn't understand what she meant by like gold to silver.
And we still don't.
We still don't, but now we are kind of starting to get it, because when Ren throws her power...
No.
That's not now?
This is too early.
Oh, it is still too early? Okay. I didn't know if this was now.
I'm pretty sure it's too early.
Because, like, a spider goes to attack Torch, but Ren protects him with her magic. Vine Blights attack Wilder, and then a Frost Giant comes until Wilder comes and takes it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that happens
Okay, so it's like the next
last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Kip takes a spider fang to the chest, because we all have to have a near-death experience in this book. We all kind of died inside reading that, I think.
It was rough for me to read that.
But I'm going to be honest. I knew he wasn't going to die. I don't know. It was kind of like how when the moon hatched and her best friend died and you knew she was going to die.
Yeah.
I kind of knew he wasn't going to die. I was like, he just can't die.
Yeah.
He can't, yeah. So Thea, though, uses her vial and commands him to live.
She gives him the healing magic.
The healing magic. And she's like, yeah, you're going to live. You're not doing this. I love you too much.
I also 100% see at least Thea and Ren eventually, like, if somebody had a heart attack, just being like...
You will come back to life!
Like, I don't have that fancy machine because it hasn't been invented and this is a fantasy world.
Shark bait. Ooh, aha. So...
Well, Sun's body was found, mauled.
Yeah, Sebastian's was found. No one really cares, but, like, they know something's sus, and, like, they're eventually going to look into it. It's just not high priority right now.
Well, it's because of who his uncle is. They need a story to tell him when he finally, like, shows up somewhere, because he's missing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're like, yo, Malik, your dog attacked Barlow? What do we know about this? And Thea had to be like, yeah, he tried to rape me, so I killed him. And then Dax came along and, like, ate him.
And ate him for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
We go to the Singing Hare, again, after this battle, to meet up with Kip and Cal and strategize again, because, again, a lot of strategy in this book for it. Torge, my mans, gives my girl some special scissors that she was looking for to help her chop, like, herbs and, like, plants and everything like that.
We're talking about Ren.
Yeah, Ren
I
and
know,
Torge.
this is Thea's book, so we need to clarify
I know, I
that.
should clarify that. And she gets all kind of flustered from it, which is really cute, and then nothing goes further from that, because why should I have that much happiness?
Mm-hmm.
Thea's name day is here, and that's kind of like, it's a cool experience because the girls have never spent it all together as sisters. White noise in the background. But also kind of hard too, because again, like, it's a reminder that her death day is coming. So that's kind of hard. King Archos is finally captured, and he is taken as prisoner. But the battle is just a diversion. Like, he is a diversion. There's still more stuff going on with the race, and it doesn't seem like they're fully being controlled by King Archos. And we're finally getting that more really in life picture now. Of, like, kind of being like, who is behind it if it's not King Archos?
Mm-hmm. You have a lot of notes about Ren and Torge and not a lot about what's going on with Thea and Wilder.
I told you that I want their book. Don't come for me.
No, I'm not coming for you. I'm just looking at all these. I'm like, oh, look, there's Ren and Torge again. There's Ren and Torge again.
You want to know what book I want to read? Did you guys figure it out yet?
We're both very excited about it. I'm not
so
mad
excited.
at all.
No.
Just
I mean, I really like this book, don't get me wrong, but I think sometimes I really do feel like there's certain series that you start to follow the main characters and you get so attached and loved by the side characters.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like Silver Flames. Like, a lot of people love that book more than they like the first 3 books, and they like those side characters a little bit more. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We all can't be thrown a glass and be Aelin.
Even then, you still love the side characters.
Love the side characters.
Like, I'd read a book for many of the side characters.
Yes.
Even that one missing guy that we know nothing about.
I want one about Ralph.
I need more Ralph in my life.
And the
pirates.
redheaded girl that I can't think of her name right now. Them too. It starts with an A. I don't know.
Something.
But yeah, I need their book. Alright, so we go back to Thezmarr to try to take it back from the evil, because again, the battle diversion, like, there's really actually more going back at the main camp. Cal.
Gets taken hostage. Cal has some PTSD trauma he's working through.
I love my guy.
We do. We love him.
So Wilder goes to save him and kind of cut him down, and we also figure out too, like, Cal loses a lot of his comrades during this too, like a lot of the other archers, because they couldn't withstand and be strong enough for the shadows. And Cal is a strong man, so he survived the
Cal's
shadows.
basically the only one who survived,
Yes.
which he has a lot of guilt over. Cal's gone through it.
Maybe we'll see that more in the next book too.
I think so, because Ren is also very close with Cal,
Yeah.
especially Cal.
So I think we'll see that a little bit more too. Again, side characters. Love the side characters
We
in
do.
this. Makes you invested. This is a good series.
But yeah, we found out that Princess there, Ms. Jazz, she's fucking evil.
Super evil. Like, really evil.
She's the one controlling all of them and doing everything.
Queen of Shadow vibes right here coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you remember that one scene in Queen of Shadows where, like, they were dragging Gale back to the gates and, like, all the heads were on, like, the gates?
That's exactly what's happening.
With all of her dancing alchemist friends, the cook.
That
really made
Ren
me sad.
so bad.
Yep. And, again, I think we'll see that, too, from her. But that was really sad.
Because, like, Ren and, like, Thea's friends to an extent, but really Ren's friends were there.
So they do all make it in, like, Ren, the sisters, and we figure out that it's Jazz, and the sisters are all trying to team up against Jazz to take her down.
Yeah.
Which is not a very easy feat. It does take all three of them to try to take her down.
And, like, Jazz, like, literally masterminded everything. She set Anya up as the cover story. Like, she was the one to bring the shadows down in the first place.
And it was all, like, her father and the weapons master were actually the ones who decided to cover it up and blame Anya for it.
Yeah. Because he couldn't
Take his own thing for his own kids' stuff.
kill his daughter. Which, like, kind of understand, but at the same time, you're punishing every single other woman in your kingdom.
For, like, your daughter's choices.
Yeah.
And Anya's finally coming clean that the Fate Stone wasn't Thea's. It was actually her Fate Stone. So, like, when Thea had those flashbacks of saying, like, remember me, you'll remember me, it was actually, like, Anya trying to get Thea to remember her. And, like, them all being sisters before the world went up.
Yeah, Anya gave Thea the Fate Stone to, like, try to, like, give her, like, a physical memory of her.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's Anya who's... Because, like, Anya and Thea, although Thea is younger, their birthdays are very close.
Very close. They're like Irish twins almost.
Yes. And since Thea's birthday just passed, that means Anya's
Getting a year older.
is coming up.
So she ends up passing away. And she dies in her sister's arms.
That was so
So
rough.
sad. So sad.
Yeah. But, Miss Audrey, you kind of led us astray here because somehow Anya was able to pass her power.
So not only has Audra held out on, like, the magic transfer part of it, she's also held out on the part of, like, how she still talks to all of her female warrior friends and how they all come back to, like, help. Because she likes to hold things up. But the warriors do come back through the veil to try to help Thea, Wilder, and the crew take over Jazz.
Audra arrives.
Yep.
With all of the female warriors that we were told she didn't know where the fuck they were.
She knew.
Audra, why are you
Back to me not liking
doing
Audra.
this?
Do you remember why I said that?
Well, like, I want to like you, and I can understand it if you can explain to me your reasoning.
Yeah.
But right now, you have just withheld a ton of information that was vital information on a lot of subjects.
So many subjects. You're like, can you like call the serial up and like get a page from their notebook?
Or Rowan?
Because that's really mean.
I mean, you're pulling some alien shit and just not sharing your plans with anybody.
And like, at least she was a little bit more diabolical with her plans. Your plans are like.
No, I
self-serving.
feel like diabolical would be self-serving. Diabolical is like evil.
Yeah. I feel like hers are just like not as self-righteous. But either way. Torge is okay, yeah. Here we're finally at this like
Yes.
gold to silver part that finally makes sense. So
Oh wait, no, the Fates came.
oh yeah, the
You
fates
forgot-
come.
That's
Yep,
a pretty big thing. The Fates are there, and they're opening, like, a portal, and Kip is trying to take the darkness coming around the portal down.
Because Wilder's down there and sees it.
Yes.
And he's just like, yep, Kip's got this under control. He knows what to do. And then Torge is up protecting Thea because she's getting attacked by everything and anything under the sun, Race, Reapers, like all
Demons.
of it. And Ren sees Torge about to be attacked, so she sends over her shadow magic to protect him.
Yes.
And when she does this, somehow he's like hit with the magic.
Yes.
In some sense, don't really know how it pierces him and doesn't hurt him, but instead,
Well, because he kind of absorbs it.
Yeah, he like transforms
He gets a piece of it. And then now his hair is white. Well, silver.
Silver, but like again weird.
Which he has silver hair and the dark beard still, so I don't know how to feel about that. That's a little goofy to me.
A little goofy, but I don't know if I like him. I think better with the dark beard. I don't know if I feel like I'd like Santa beard.
Yeah, I know.
The Vine Blight's there, so it's like another one of like the demon things.
Yep.
And the Vine Blight is like Thea's PTSD in this book because she had to like yank her hand off in the last book because of it. So that is a very touchy, hard thing for her to do. Like she doesn't care about 10 Reapers coming at her, but send one Vine Blight. She's scared.
Yeah.
She's very scared.
Well, like when you have to cut your own hand off.
But totally understandable.
Yeah.
But she does take the lightning and the powers into her hands to take Jazz down.
Yes.
Because Jazz is trash. They end up taking her down though too.
Yeah, they win. And then they go and like they clean everybody up. Like the battle's done. Wilder and her are like, yo, we gotta clean up. We gotta decompress each other. Like, take care of each other. And they try to go home, or at least to Wilder's home, which is his cottage, which we know he loves.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was upset. This was just about as upsetting as everything else in this book.
Yeah.
They destroyed his home when they thought he was a traitor. They literally like demolished his home and destroyed it.
It's like ashes when they go back.
And that was heartbreaking for me because like to think you're going through this entire battle and everything, and like that really had to be like
Your
a
sanctuary.
motivating force for him too. Was like knowing like I'm going to take Thea, especially after finding out the stone wasn't hers.
Real, because like that gave them such hope for each other.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna have time with her. We're gonna have this life together. We're gonna go back to my cottage. Like we're going back to my safe space, and she's going to be a part of it. And it's destroyed.
It's destroyed. But the one thing somehow that's not destroyed is the arrow that
He shot at her.
he shot at her.
Yeah.
And like instead of a ring, which makes sense for their relationship, like he gives her that arrow.
Yeah. And then we also found out that the dagger that Thea had been carrying around forever was actually the Furies. It was their dagger.
They want Thea to be the guild master.
Yep. And they finally go to get Thea's horse. Because remember, she made that promise and she couldn't necessarily keep it because he needed help. And there was a joke earlier in the series about, because of Biscuit, that Wilder was going to name her horse something stupid.
Because remember, Malik and Talamir named Biscuit.
Yes. So Wilder's sitting up there and like, she gets her horse and like they're together and he's like, so what are you naming it? And she's like, oh, I don't want to tell you yet. Blah, blah, blah. Well, then she's riding along and she slips up and she admits that the horse's name is Pancake. Cute.
And she wasn't gonna call him Pancake, and then she's like Pancake, and like bashfully looks over at him.
Yeah.
And he like kind of like gives her another like side look. And you remember that teapot in the beginning of like the series?
Oh yeah, because there's still this prisoner
finally
guy.
comes back.
Well, because like the traitor guy.
Osiris,
Yeah.
the weapons master, Sebastus's uncle, who we don't like.
He's still a prisoner, and they were like in essentially their war council still, debating what to do about him because they want information out of him. They want to know if there's like still any other threats out there they have to worry about. And they were essentially saying like, no, we're gonna keep him alive. We're not gonna fuck with him too bad. Well, there was one important person missing from this war council, and it took Torge looking around to realize
Where's my girl?
Ren wasn't there. And Ren has so much rage at this point because she had to see her best friend's heads on pikes.
Her sister die in her arms because she comes in too to watch Anya die. And
Yes. So she lost her sister. She almost lost
her
Thea,
other sister too.
And she lost her 2 best friends.
And almost watched Torch die. Like that, I think
and
really
like
bothered
the
her
cook
too.
was also kind of like a parent figure to them.
Yeah.
He used that too.
So
everybody she cared about was dead at one point.
So she's like, I'm having my own revenge.
Well, again, she was not happy with them saying they were just going to keep him alive for right now. So they go down, and the female warriors are guarding him, and they're like, how many people are in that cell? And they're like, we have 2 outside guarding the door, 2 guarding the door inside, and the princess is in there. And at this point, we know that Thea and Ren are princesses.
Yep.
So they're like, what do you mean the princess is in there? And they're like, yeah, we thought it was kind of weird that she's giving the prisoner tea, but she's in there just having a cup of tea with him. So they open the door, and they see Ren pouring the tea out of a teapot, like a very innocent looking teapot. And then they both take a sip of their tea, and all of a sudden this bastard falls over fucking dead. And Thea just looks at her sister like, you crazy motherfucker, because it was the ladies' luncheon tea. The pot that she had made in the first book that has 2 chambers that you can switch over
and not notice it
and poison somebody with.
I was waiting for that full circle moment, obviously since the first book, but like for so long I was waiting for it because I was like, it has to come back.
Explain to anybody what it was? Or...
Yeah, I totally think at least Wilder. I feel like Wilder, Kip, and Cap.
Maybe.
And that's it. Maybe even Talmer, but I don't even know about Talmer.
Maybe not.
Torch. I feel like Ren might tell Torch.
I don't know.
But this series is one of my favorite series that I found in 2024.
Yes.
Thank you, Libby, for having this on there. That's what made me find this.
Oh, I got it on Hoopla.
I seen it. I was looking on, like, I was just browsing through, like, different books on Libby one day, and I seen it as, like, a fantasy book, and I read it, and I had to wait forever for the hold to come up, but it was totally worth the wait.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a good vibe.
Thank you for telling me to read it.
Yeah. I have a good recommendation for once. I feel like you're always the one bringing in the good recommendations, so it's nice to bring some food to the table for once. I'm here for the camera, generally.
I am good at finding books because I have ADHD and I need to find books.
I'm trying to do better at, like, my research a little bit more behind books.
I don't read synopsises. I'll see
Not
like
that
cool
much.
fan art online and be like, I literally downloaded one right before we filmed because I saw fan art online. I'm like, that looks fucking awesome. So I downloaded A Touch of Golden Madness. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Okay, the only reason I have to do research is because you don't get sucked into these stupid books that Instagram tries to sell you in.
Yeah, because I know they're probably trash.
Well, that's why...
9 out of 10 of them for you have been trash.
Do I read them, though? I do. I do Instagram. Can you please give me better? And it's...
It's Instagram.
Do you want to know my other bad thing that I've been doing lately?
What?
You know, like, those, like, crappy movies that Facebook shows you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been watching those, too. Which is just such bad acting that you watch it for the bad acting, which no hate on those. They're out there working.
It's probably bad scripts.
It really is bad scripts, because some of them aren't too bad, but, like, oh, man, do I stay intrigued until the ads start to frustrate me too much, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna go read my book now. But yeah, this was a ride. This was a vibe.
It was.
Again, we'll link all of Helen's information in our show notes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, available on Kindle. This is the Audible. Our audiobooks are amazing on these. Don't know if the next series is going to have audiobooks right away, but if you are an audio reader, I highly recommend these books, because love them.
They were fantastic.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think that's all of our yapping for the day. It's a successful re-record, so thank you all for sticking around with us.
Yeah. They didn't have to, we wouldn't even have had to tell them.
We wouldn't, but did you guys like that I told you that, or did you really not care? You probably didn't care, but we're making it more personable. Like, we're real people, because
we are real people.
We're real people with real jobs and real ADHD.
Yeah.
That makes it hard for us to stay on track.
It is so hard.
And also to record sometimes, too, because, again, remember, this is a double film episode, so it's been like 3-4 hours of recording here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 2-man team here.
Yeah.
Bean is here for the vibes. She is not
this
here
is
for work.
Bean's apartment.
She was not here for work. Alright, guys, happy reading, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, have a good day.
Bye.
Read more books.